thanks, Brother Dave. I'm really just the warm-up speaker for Michael McCulloch, actually. So, you know, I think it's important to stress what's really important, which is the free coffee and donuts. So, I mean, I'm from a big family, so I guess what I'm saying is I will not be offended if people, you know, prefer the buffet line to listening to this talk. You know, make yourself at home. And it occurs to me, you know, we're in the Kennedy Caucus room of the Russell Senate office building, and you know, I'm kind of into American history, is one of my hobbies, and Senator Richard Russell was a very prominent senator from Georgia in the 1950s and 60s, and he was a very important senator in a lot of ways, particularly with respect to foreign policy. He was a brilliant man. But, you know, for those of you who know about the struggle over civil rights in the 1960s, Senator Russell, Richard Russell, was the leading opponent of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, organizing filibuster, and also the Voting Rights Act of 1965. So that, I mean, I'm glad this building is named after him, but he had a kind of moral blind spot, which was race, and he didn't, you know, he follows a kind of long American tradition that dates back, well, it dates back to the introduction of slavery in our country, but one of the stages in that was, of course, the infamous Dred Scott decision in 1857, which decided that blacks in this country could not be citizens and thus didn't possess any constitutional rights, that the people who had rights were slave owners. And then, of course, so he had this, you know, he kind of had this, Senator Russell had a little bit of a blind spot with respect to this issue, I think. And then this room is named after the Kennedys, you know, two of whom served as senators from our state of Massachusetts, and one of whom, Robert, served as senator from New York. You know, certainly Ted Kennedy, who's the most recent one, you know, he also developed a blind spot with respect to whether a certain category of human beings, you know, were entitled to be recognized as persons. Initially, he started off opposed to abortion, but unfortunately, after Roe versus Wade, he came to the opposite view. So I just think it's kind of an interesting thing, right? That this, you know, that we're talking about this subject, which has to do with the legal exclusion, really, of protections for a class of human beings in this Kennedy Caucus room of this Russell Senate office building. Anyway, then I have a sort of a light thing, but it's a light but somewhat crass thing about the great civil rights president, Lyndon Johnson, who, and I'm going to dissent from his view, but he basically liked to say that there was a difference between a cactus and a caucus, is that in a caucus, the pricks are on the inside. Sorry, I know this is offensive to high singers. But I disagree with that, right? That's not true, right? Okay, so I'm really supposed to talk for about 5 minutes about the funding of Planned Parenthood, and I'm going to take the position, not surprising for a pro-life gathering, right, that Planned Parenthood is a bad use of public funds. It's the largest abortion provider in the United States, and it's also a huge recipient of federal and state funding to the tune of $500 million a year. Now, President Trump has vowed to cut federal funding for Planned Parenthood because it provides abortions. Legally, because of the Hyde Amendment, federal funds are not supposed to pay for any elective abortions, and Title X funds for family planning services are not supposed to cover abortions. Legally also, Planned Parenthood is a 501c3 nonprofit organization, contributions to which are deductible from federal income tax. But Cecile Richards, president and CEO of Planned Parenthood, gets salary and compensation of about $1 million annually. She seems to be profiting nicely from all those abortions and government funding. When Planned Parenthood officials were caught on videotape in 2015 negotiating to sell fetal body parts, of which they have many since they're in the fetal demise business, public outrage and disgust among pro-life Americans led to renewed calls for defunding the corporation at both the federal and state levels. A number of states cut their funding. President Obama issued a last-minute executive order purporting to prevent states from cutting Medicaid funds for services from doctors and entities that also provide abortions in order to protect Planned Parenthood, but the order was enjoined in federal court just recently. Planned Parenthood Federation of America, Inc. is also affiliated with International Planned Parenthood Federation, an international group of abortion providers. While President George W. Bush cut federal funding to International Planned Parenthood when he was president, as had President Reagan before him, Barack Obama restored funding. And just this past Monday, President Trump, once again, by executive order, cut international funding, which was to the tune of about $500 million, right, to International Planned Parenthood. So basically, the day after the 44th anniversary of Roe versus Wade, we get this action by the president, the new president. While Planned Parenthood does other things than abortions, testing for sexually transmitted diseases, for example, funds they receive for the latter are fungible and could be used to subsidize the costs of abortion. And so there's a kind of indirect way around the Hyde Amendment's prohibition on the direct use of federal funds for abortions. An audit in Nebraska, as reported by the Catholic News Service, found a Planned Parenthood affiliate spending public funds on abortion expenses like physician fees for an abortionist and employee travel and on-call work time involving abortion procedures, unquote. As Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan recently commented at a town hall meeting, "We don't want to effectively commit taxpayer money to an organization providing abortions, but we want to make sure people get their coverage. We believe this can be done better by putting that money in federal community health centers. They are vastly bigger in network, there are so many more of them, and they provide these kinds of services, that is prenatal and perinatal care, diabetes screening, pap smears, checkups, and mammograms, without all the controversy surrounding abortion." Unquote. Significantly, Planned Parenthood does not provide mammograms for breast cancer, only referrals for mammograms elsewhere. Now, Margaret Sanger, again to get into history a bit, the founder of Planned Parenthood, was notorious for racist and eugenic ideas at a time when the Nazis abroad were starting to put their lethal project into practice. For example, she wrote in the 1920s, quote, "The most merciful thing that a large family does to one of its infant members is to kill it." She called immigrants and poor people human weeds, reckless breeders, spawning human beings who never should have been born. And it's preposterous that such a person should be held up as a model advocate for women's rights, or that Planned Parenthood for the past 50 years names its annual award in her honor. So one of the recent recipients of the Margaret Sanger Award from Planned Parenthood was none other than Hillary Clinton. Whatever good Planned Parenthood might conceivably do or have done, the millions of innocents, disproportionately among minorities, it is responsible for having killed, should disqualify it for taxpayer funding. Thank you, and hopefully Dave Mullen will